Wow, sorry about that. That's weird. My microphone was turned off. So, hello everyone. I'll have to fix that in post. Yeah. Today we're making potions. Very exciting. And we're going to play around with that. This is a pretty good size bit of clay. And we're going to just take some clear resin and pour that into all of these various bottles and potions and such. And we will go forward from there and see what we get. I'm just going to form this into a ball, hopefully. And we'll get a nice uniform shape, reasonably uniform shape. Like I said, love potion number 9. All right. So that is a ball. It'll be an eyeball eventually. Like I said, when the mic was off, I'm going to make a couple of these, because if you're going to make one eyeball, why not make several? So I'm just rubbing these together. Nothing complex here. And I'm going to use these as props in my D&D game. And that'll just be what we do here. I should have enough resin to give me... I'm not going to fill all of these fully with the potion. Why? But I should have enough to get a good amount in each of these. The one thing I have left to work on and figure out exactly how I'm going to do this is I have these lovely beakers here. Wow, I can't get high enough. And basically, when I pour it in there, they're going to have to stand up, like this. So I'll need to grab like some, maybe some rags or something and use those to hold them up. So this Fimo clay requires quite a bit of firmness to really shape. Got to really push them together thus far. Yeah, we're getting something fairly spherical. But eyes are pretty close to a sphere. You can't really get an oblong eye and have it look right. So let's get this nice and got some interesting squeeziness there. Some strange things. We don't want that. So I'm just gonna push this around a little bit. Hopefully get most of these shapes worked out. When you're squeezing it and just trying to work out some of these odd little divots and such, you will get little fingerprints in the clay, but don't worry, as soon as you do this, it'll buff them right out. Okay, that's good. So there's our second eyeball. And what was it saying there? Fimo is 230. All right, I'm going to put the oven on for 230. And they were saying, what was it, half an hour per 1/4 inch thickness? Oh, come now. Refocus. Focus. Focus. Gonna have to... 1 second. Stand by. There we go. Yeah, an hour per 1/4 inch thickness, and this is gonna be... That's a lot of thickness. So, fortunately, I mean, we don't need to bake it all the way. I'm not making pots here. It's just to firm this up enough that I can then paint it. So we have... Yeah, I'm fine with that. Yeah, I don't really need 3 eyes. But we have 1 and we have kind of a spare. That's good. In case we mess things up. But we never mess things up. All right. So that'll be ready to go in a little bit. And like I said, what I'll do is I'll bake them and then I'll paint them. All right. So then I guess we can kind of get started on these potions. So the colors we have here are what? So there's a potion of flying, which is clear at the top and cloudy white at the bottom, which essentially means I want to do 2 pours. And I think for the potion of flying, it makes sense to use the beakers, right? Like this is what you want to drink out of if you're going to fly, I think. So I need to mix up a little bit of stuff. There we go. And I want to do a couple of, so we've got those. We've got a potion of animal friendship, which is brown with like a fish scale or a cat claw or a hair. And I actually have a little bit of bone and some other stuff sitting in the other room that I can pull out, and we'll just dip in there. Potion of water breathing is a cloudy green. That's easy, just add some green. Potion of speed is yellow streaked with black. I've never actually streaked epoxy resin. I think I know how to do it, but I'm not sure. I will certainly have to do it in one of these larger bottles. So what that tells us is the potions of speed should probably be in these things, because I need to be able to mix it, basically. Although actually I could mix in one of these using like a little like a chopstick or something. Yeah, maybe. I guess I could use one of those as well. All right, so I'm not as limited in that. Potion of mind reading is purple. Potion of climbing is brown, and silver and gray layers sort of separated. So that means three different pours. You basically you pour in, you know, gray, and let it harden, and then come back to it like the next day, and then do another pour of like silver and then brown. Then a potion of clairvoyance, which is the eye floating in yellowish liquid. So let me move that up a little bit, because I want to do that tonight because it just sounds so fun. Yeah, all right. So we know we want potion of flying, a little complicated. And you know, the potion of flying we can hold off on a little bit, I think. Partly because, again, it is kind of easy. Let's do some water breathing potions. You know what I might do? I have these tiny little bottles. I think a water breathing potion you want to be small. You know, something you keep with on yourself, and then you chug so you can breathe water. I've got all these small little bottles, these little vials here. You can see, and I think I want to do the potions in these. These are really small. They're gonna be very hard to pour. Like these are really the only three that are reasonable. And part of the problem there too is that you want something that your party members can actually hold, you can actually pour into, right? Like epoxy resin is very thick, so I can't get it into a vial like that, but I can probably get into all of these. So let's mix up a little bit of potion of water breathing. It'll be just a green epoxy resin, and we need a very small amount. So I'm going to start with what I have here. So epoxy, oh, before I do that, time for the gloves. Very important. And by the way, when I'm done with these, when they're completely cured, which takes, you know, a day or two, for these, let me see, do they say out here? They don't. Somewhere in the instructions they'll say it takes, you know, 24 hours or 48 hours to cure fully. When they're completely done, then I actually glue the stoppers in place, because it's just no fun to have these and then the top falls out and folks trying to find it. You know, no, you want these to be kind of stoppered fully. Plus, you know, you don't want it to pop out, people to breathe epoxy resin fumes, you know, because they're playing around with it. Just no good. All right. And then the other thing I might do is I've also got these cool blue and red jars, and it's hard to fill these up with a liquid that looks anything other than, you know, just a jar. So I might just fill them up with like a colored salt, or just some other powder. I think that'd be a fun thing to have. You have some kind of powder that has like 3 uses of it, and you pull some out and you use it. So that'd be a fun thing to play around with. But like I said, I don't, you know, this would be a big potion to drink. So I don't think it makes sense to make this an actual potion. But you certainly could if you wanted to. And you certainly couldn't color it in a way that would be clear or be visible. All right, so let's like I said, let's go ahead and start on the little things here. Now, so basically the way most resins work is you'll get 2 different bottles, and you basically put equal amounts of each one into a mixing vessel, mix them around. Now, there's a little bit more of one than the other because I just did a poor job of pouring before, but they should be equal. So I'm just going to go ahead and use this stuff. And like I said, I need a very, very little of the green. Although I could also make a green thing here. One of the problems, of course, is it's hard to... Actually, I'm going to also need the brown for the potion of animal friendship. So if I'm going to do that, that means I need the scale. Let me grab that. We'll get there. Just hold on. Stand by. All right, so this is my big old bag of cool stuff for D&D. Just random keys and bones and things like that. And I'm going to pull out some things here. I have a bunch of bones. These are actual bones. So there's a bone. I have some sort of pearlescent things. That would be nice. Anything else? We want things that look natural, that look like they're actually, you know, part of an animal. I think that's all we got. We don't want rocks or anything. Is that like a fish? Ooh, wait a minute. What do we got there? There we go. Little bit of bone. Even better. Okay. Yeah. That makes sense. So what I've got here is a little bit of bone. And a little like pearlescent chip there. Looks like kind of pearl. Yeah, it looks like perfume samples. You're right. Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually tempted to smash this, but no. I mean, it's definitely plastic. But we'll go ahead and just use this. Yeah, it's a little too. Yeah, I need to smash it. How am I going to do that? That's the question. Safely. Well, let's see here. I have a hammer. No. There we go. Okay. So I just basically hammered this on my countertop, and I've gotten these, whoa, going everywhere. Now I've got these pieces, and I like this to get across the idea of a fish scale. I think that's a lot more reasonable than a disc, right? So we'll use that. Maybe this other little bit too, that's fine. We heard the beeping, so I'm gonna go ahead and put these guys on a plate and bake it, actually aluminum foil. So just to document, you know what I'm doing. I'm just taking a piece of aluminum foil and basically making a, you know, a dish. Simple as that. So the eyes aren't going to roll all around inside there, and I'm just going to bake that. Okay, so they said 30 minutes per quarter inch of thickness. I'm going to set this for 30 minutes and then go and see, well, actually, yeah. Set this for 30 minutes and then just look at them and just pull them out. Because I think what's going to happen is that the outside will set, but the inside might still be, you know, not baked. That's fine. Right? These don't need to be baked all the way through. Again, I'm not making pottery. So we'll just see what we get after 30 minutes. All right, so we have our two pieces of shell. So what I was saying before is we can do the green for the potions of water breathing. and make more than we need because we know we need brown for the potion of animal friendship. And we can mix lots of colors into the green to make that. So that's good. So let's go ahead and start there. I'm just going to pour in, I'm just eyeballing this, 1/2 of the resin. That's plenty for those little things, I think. Maybe a little more. Okay. Like I said, we have options here. And then I can actually see on the side how much there was. And there's double that. All right, so then we grab a popsicle stick, and we mix, 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 and we mix. And make sure this is thoroughly mixed. It is easy to not get all of this mixed in. And it will, by the way, look a little yellowed. Part of that is because I'm using a little old resin. And one of the sides of it is a little old. I mean, by old, I mean, I bought it months ago, not decades or anything. But because I used it and capped it, that's allowed like oxygen to get in there and so forth, and it's changed the color slightly. So you got to be aware of that. But it will dry more clear than this color. We want to make sure this is thoroughly mixed. Okay, that looks good. So this is what we've got. Again, sort of an off-white. And then we need to add our color. So it's green. I have some colors in here. I actually have a sparkly green. Let's do that. Just some green acrylic paint. I'm just going to squirt some of that in here and mix that in. You can't overmix epoxy resin, fortunately. Okay. Yay, sparkles. Man, getting this into those is going to be a trick. Again, without getting it everywhere else. All right, that's a good green. So now we have our nice green epoxy resin. And let's see here. Let me grab a piece of paper and form a little funnel. Do I have any paper I can use here? That's fine. All right, so I'm going to take these things out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. And it does not like to refocus that back down on this surface, does it? Let me fix that. There we are. Okay, so I'm going to spin this around like this to make a little funnel. I'm going to need to tape that. Do I have? I gotta have some tape up here, right? Yep. All right. So we're just making a little funnel. That's right. All right. So there's our funnel. And then we pour our resin into that. Look at that. We're going to have a potion of water, and that's actually using a lot more than I thought. Okay, good to know. One thing I tell my players is that potions are carefully mixed, but they're not always exactly identical. So just because one is a slightly different green than another does not mean that they will not be efficacious. All right, can we get that in there? I think we can. It's a much smaller opening, but I think if I hold it, I can get that in there. Let that go down. Whoa! Fail. Epic fail. Oh, look at that. Epic fail. It's going everywhere. Okay. So, what I think I'm going to do is, first off, so the problem is this is too goopy to go into that opening. Let me just see what happens if I try to pour this in very, very carefully in a drizzle. Can I drizzle it in? I can. So I'm going to drizzle this in, and then I need to clean the epoxy off the sides. Okay, and that's actually, wow, these are pretty much all of that. So I will need to make more. And the color is going to be a little different. Just almost by definition. I'm looking at the cup on the side. I can see how much is in. So if I look down here, why can't you see that? If I look here, I can actually see to the side of the cup how much mixture is in there. So I look at that, and then I add in enough to raise it up to double that height. So let me mix those two halves together, and then I'll add some more color to that. But we'll have a slightly different color, slightly different green. It will be either a little brighter or a little darker, a little dimmer than that green. But again, like I'll tell my players, those others were formulated by a different wizard who had a slightly different formula, and so the color comes out a little differently. But it will still let you breathe water. So make sure this is nice and mixed up. And this is definitely going to be way more than we need for those tiny vials. Oh, before I forget, very important, let me clean off the outside of that. Kai-hen! Kai-hen! All right. So, I'm just going to pick up this bottle and wipe as much as I can of this resin off. It's actually coming off pretty well, as far as I can tell. Otherwise, it'll have the weird green bits on it. This turning out okay. And this, by the way, is why you put papers down on your work surface, because otherwise this would be a big problem. Okay. So that's fine. I've got some, all right. I spilled some on the gloves, so I'm going to go ahead and throw away those gloves and start over with some new gloves. Need to add some green to there. Let's try that much. Just see what we get. And we'll pour it into those tiny, tiny, teensy tiny bottles and see how many we get. Like I said, I kind of like to have, say 6 of these, so I can give them out to every member of an adventuring party. And I have enough. I have actually a total of 8 of these tiny bottles, but the others are really, really tiny. So maybe. And it's also just fun to have a few extras sitting around, right? You can always give them out as party favors, heck. All right. Ooh. The fingers get a little sweaty inside these, so you get some... Okay, there we go. True. Let's go ahead and mix in that green and see if we get something pretty close to that green. Nope, need some more green. I want to be careful here because you can't take the green out. Okay, that's looking about right. Yeah, I have no idea where I got these. They're just kind of jars I came across in various points. Okay, what do we got? There's that new green. Yeah, that looks pretty close. Close enough. All right, so instead of using the funnel I tried using before, I'm just going to go ahead and pour this in directly. Let me clear off some space. So that bottle, you can barely see, right there, is getting some of this. I'm just going to be very careful. In it goes. And I'll try to fill these up all pretty full Again, I don't want the folks using this to feel like they're being gypped compared to the other folks. But you also want to make sure that you can stopper them. You want to be careful there. All right. Whoa, whoa. That's too much. That's too much. Can I pour some out? Will I even be able to? Ooh, that's a problem. Yeah. Slowly. I can get some of it out. There we go. All right, that should be enough. Okay, and it should settle back down, I'm hoping. There's this weird, there we go. There we are, yay. Okay, then we'll move these over to the side a little bit. Then I've got these teensy, tiny little bottles. I've got to be a little more careful here because it's easy for me to move the paper and accidentally knock them over. And these are the smallest openings by far. So wish me luck. There's a bit of a weird spot there. Hands are shaking. Okay. All right. I think we'll get there. This is not easy, but it's not hard. It's just takes a little bit of delicate pouring. There it comes. Then you watch, make sure you don't overfill. Okay. And the last of them. A little weird to have a whole bunch of these little things, but whatever. Like, this isn't exactly a big variety of potions, but that's alright. The glitter is pretty cool, I'll say. Whoa, ah, shoot. Got a whole big glob. Alright. Just a bunch of it. Alright, I will clean that off momentarily. But first, let me fill the rest of it up. It's weird. I just got a big blob that just poured right over into it. Alright, pull that out. I have another paper towel. I can use that, and I got some on the gloves. I'll have to clean the gloves off here. Alright, so give me a minute, and then those will be ready to go. Alright, so there's that one, and that gets thrown away, and these gloves come off. No point in my spreading more of this resin all around. So I now have a bunch of little green potions. Awesome. Let me grab some paper. I think I will just add... You know what I'll do? Well, let me put on another glove, and then I'm going to move these kind of out of the way. I think I should probably move them really out of the way, but I don't have any great spots in the library here as a staging area, if you will. So just for now, not do it that way. Okay. Those I can move over there. So I'm just going to move these over to a piece of paper off to the side so they're not kind of right staring at me, ready to get knocked over. There's the color of that nice green one there. And like I said, these are going to have to sit around for hours and hours and hours before they're ready. Okay, so we've got the green. Now, as we mentioned, we have the Potion of Animal Friendship, which I think should be spherical. That makes sense to me. Yeah. And we're going to use the rest of the green, but we're going to add brown to it. It's going to be kind of glittery. That's cool. So to make this, we're going to add some red paint. I'm just going to dollop some red paint in there and mix it around. Again, the point here is just to get a brown color, not to get any particular... Oops. Let's fix that. There we go. So what do we got here? That's actually more red than anything else. So that kind of overwhelmed the green, so let's add some blue. We'll probably end up kind of purplish. Oops. There. But we want a brown here. We want an earthy brown. Yeah, that's getting purpley. Huh. The green just is not coming out, so to the purple we'll add some yellow. Funny. Need all the colors. I thought having that green might give us a head start, but apparently not. Since green is blue and yellow, right? Yeah, I thought, well, if we then just add some red to that, we should have all the colors, and so it'll kind of muddy up. But nope. Let's get that yellow in there. No, not really. Add some more yellow. Using the clean end, by the way. Very important. Dark colors tend to overwhelm light colors, so I need a lot of yellow here, it looks like. Let's use that and see what we get. Oh, that's getting brown. Yeah. That's getting rather nice. Yeah, kind of a dirt color, roughly. Yeah, that's good. Okay. So we're going to take this. I'm going to pop this off. Just use this one. And this is going to get all this brown. Well, I say all, but it's going to get this brown. Not actually all that much of it. I'm going to pour that in. Actually, very little of it, now that I'm looking at it. I might need, yeah, I'm going to need, ooh, okay. So this is an interesting problem. What I've done here is I've screwed myself over, but we're going to try to fix it. It's really hard to mix up the exact same brown, and that's already got a very specific shade in it. So what I need to do is mix up a bunch more stuff. In fact, let's move on to another set of liquid of materials here. And, okay. They have little plastic or foil caps. I'm gonna puncture. So let's add this. Again, trying to be roughly equal the amount you're pouring in. I need more of this. Oh, dang it, I got the cap right in a bunch of resin. And again, gotta pop this cap, this foil. Aluminum foil. Come on. Alright, we got it. Alright. And then we put in again roughly equal amounts. Okay. That pours much more easily. The other stuff. Alright, so what we have here is a somewhat brown amount of resin. And I'm going to need to add more of the color. Well, actually, that's already a pretty decent cloudy brown. It's kind of interesting. Yeah, that's actually okay. That's funny. That pigment just stained up that brown real well. So here's what I'm going to do. And I don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to find out. So, move these things out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to pour this in. And I'm going to kind of swirl it around. Yeah, that's definitely a very light color. But I'm betting that if I put a stick in there, right, good. If I take a new stick and I stick it in here, I can swirl that around somewhat. I can mix it. You don't want to do this too much because then you'll get resin up the sides of the container and it won't just droop back down necessarily. It might stain the side of the container. So I'm just going to do that much. Oh, what's the deal? And I'm going to pull this out of here. Try not to have it drip on the sides. There's a little right there which I'm just going to sacrifice. Yeah, let's get some of that bits off. Okay, so that's there. It's going to be kind of interesting. Obviously, it's not perfectly mixed, but that's a pretty good brown thing. But we're not done. We still have our little bits to fit in there. So I'm going to drop. Whoa! That's an interesting thing. So those just drop right down to the bottom. But what I'm hoping is we'll be able to see it. Not really. All right. Fair enough. That's a really good point. So what I'm going to do now... Oh, actually... Ha 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 ha. All right. I don't know if it's going to sink anyway. It might. But I'm going to put that off to the side. There's a little bone on the top. Bone seems to be... floating. Sorry, knocking my potions all over the place here. Okay. Okay. We're okay. All right. So we'll see what that does. We may not have... we may have to wait a while. What I'm probably going to do here is I'm going to wait a few hours until that firms up. It's not completely solid. And I'm hoping I can then drop in the little fish scale and it will float on the top, but sink in just enough to adhere to the top of it. All right, so it won't be just sitting on the top of a solid piece of epoxy. And we'll see. There's a little bit, I can't even really see any glitter. Yeah. And that might be sinking down, the bone. Well, we'll find out. Oh well. If it does sink all the way down over the next few hours, I will take another piece of bone and just shatter off a piece of it and drop it on once it's set a little bit. All right, so we've got our potion of animal friendship. We've got a potion of water breathing. We're baking the eye for a potion of clairvoyance. And then, ooh, yes, we want to try a potion of speed, which is yellow, streaked with black. So the way to streak something is to pour a little black in there and then just, basically stir it like twice and then stop. And you'll get a little bit of that black streaked in, but nothing else. I'm trying to think of the best shape for that. And also we're thinking in terms of speed. So we want something that, I think this is going to make sense for our potions of speed. These square containers. Maybe we'll do 3. First, what we're going to do is we're going to throw this away. And we'll start over with the potions. What's this? That was a little bit of clay fell down there. All right, let's clean up a little bit. We need yellow and we'll need black, but we don't need red and we don't need blue. So let's grab our red, put it back where it belongs. And obviously this is becoming a very messy workplace, but that's okay. We will clean up when we're done. It's kind of inevitable working with resin. Let me grab the black. So that's on hand. And we're just going to mix up a fresh batch and tint it yellow. So let's just do it. I need a fair amount here, so I'm just going to pour. Like I said, I'm just going to kind of watch the side. In fact, we'll kind of use that as our sample. Yeah, that looks good. And this will go like this. Glug, glug, glug. Let you see that. See what I'm doing here. Doesn't really want to pour, but we'll get there. There we are. May have a little bit more. Do I have more in here? Yeah, I do. So that'll get us kind of over the top. Last little bit. Okay. And we stir these. Time to get back on the glove train. The outside of those bottles are still clean enough. Haven't been pouring resin out of them, so they're not covered with resin. But ideally, I should have these gloves on the entire time. So let's just make sure. Okay, there we are. Grab another popsicle stick. Mix that up. If it isn't fully mixed, then you don't end up with actual resin. You end up with this spotty stuff. And it's usually not clear, necessarily. You want to make sure that's nice and clear. So you can see now, even though that looks the same color, that that one side of the two, now that I mixed this already looks slightly lighter yellow. It's not quite that, quite as yellow as the initial set. So this is looking pretty good. Make sure it's nice and mixed. And better to overmix than undermix. Again, you can't overmix this stuff. Okay, there we are. And we're using this for at least 2 potions. And then we want the yellow, that's right. So we're just going to grab some yellow. Mix that in. And it is it's just straight up yellow. So I'm going to put in a fair amount of this yellow paint. And just mix it in. That will come out pretty darn clear, completely clear. I think that's that's somewhat yellow, but I think I want a darker yellow. I think I want more yellow than that. That's not bad, but I just don't think we'll have a really firm yellow. Although, you know, I'm not terribly horrified by that. I don't want it sunshine yellow or like marigold yellow. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. And like I said, I might want 3 of these. So I might just partially fill. See if I can get 3 out of this. Let's give it a fair amount. Yeah, I think we'll end up with 2. Whoops. How much have we got left? Enough for a... Yeah, we'll try. Woo. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's not a lot, but it's enough. All right. Oop. Okay, so the eyeballs might be ready to check. Let me go ahead and, since I haven't really, all right, since this hand is clean, I can use it on the oven. Okay. The eyeballs have firmed up, but they're definitely not firm. So we're gonna bake them for another hour, and another half hour total. See what happens. Fair enough. Okay. Now to streak these suckers. Ooh. Hold on. Yep. Okay, let's try this. Toothpicks. All right. We're good on the yellow. We don't need to keep that open and uncapped and ready to fall down. So I'm going to put a toothpick in some paint, some black paint, and then dip it in this and swirl it. And see what happens. Well, we get sort of a bit of a swirl. There's little bits of black in there. Okay. Not what I'm looking for. But what I'm going to do next is something a little different. I'm going to take some black, do the same thing. I'm going to try to drip it down. It's not going to, because the acrylic is way too thick. That's not going to work. I wanted to have like some black drip down onto it that I could then stir. All right, well. Let's do that. What do we get? Yeah, that's swirly. That's a swirly black. That works. Okay, I kind of like that. That's interesting. All right, yeah, I'm good. So what let's do. Let's go a little crazier. Dip it down. Go way down to the bottom. Do that. Come up. One more time. Same thing. And do it on the top. And just swirl in various directions. Yeah, that's a pretty good swirl. Can't really see it very well, and if I upend it, then it's going to go everywhere. But that'll do. That's not bad. In fact, I think I can do it again on the first one and make it more pronounced. I don't want to make it like a muddied yellow, so I'm kind of want to make sure I'm not going too crazy there. But I think we have a nice, interesting color there. Yeah, that's cool. Nice. Yeah, we have a weird color shape. Okay, that worked. Sweet. There's some in the inside of there. Yeah, let me grab. Did I not have? I don't have tissues in here. Sorry, guys, for going in and out constantly, so to speak. Okay, here we go. There's a little that got down here. I'm going to try to clean out. Yeah, not really. There's some on the side of that. There's a little in there I can hopefully get off. Okay, I think we're good. So yeah, there's our nice swirly black-yellow potion. That goes off to the side. All three of those go off to the side. Good. Potions of speed. Done. I'm not getting through nearly as much resin as I thought I would. Not complaining, just noting. I went out and bought some extra resin just in case, but this is good. All right. So there's that. Potion of mind reading. Nice. Mentioned the potion of flying. Oh yeah, the cloudy white at the bottom. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's do the potion of flying, and then what I might do actually. Yeah. So these these beakers, like I mentioned, we're going to need to sort of stand up straight. I think if I put them in cups, will they all fit? All four of them fit in a... Ooh, you know, you might be able to do it this way. Can I? That'll be fine. So I'm just going to put them all in a cup. Actually, if I pulled those out, can I get them reasonably... Yeah, I think that'll work. It's okay if they're a little off kilter. I end up pouring it back in and we get a kind of a weird thing. That'll work. Okay, so let's go ahead and... well, that's a problem. Need to get these little pieces of plastic off, which are not going to work with these gloves on, but I need the scissors, which are right here, fortunately. I can use these to get this plastic off. Hopefully. Is it going to come off? There we are. Okay. So let's do that. We'll get all of them taken care of. It's really annoying plastic. Doesn't want to come off, but I think we can manage it. With a little bit of effort and work. Okay. Fortunately, it's pretty obvious. These are what these are for. They did a good job with the corks on these, where they're all different shapes. So you're probably not going to get them too mixed up. Going to come off? They're going to peel? Nope. But sometimes they cause you a little trouble. You got to be a little nasty to get them peeled off. Okay. Third one. And I show you all the steps here, right? This is going to be full scale reality. No doing part of it ahead of time and then just starting there. All right. The scissors just go away for now. Ah, come on, go away. So, all I'm going to do here is mix up some resin, add a little bit of white, pour that in the bottom of these. And then, like I said, we'll go away, come back later and pour in more to give us the clear part. So, like I said, we'll pour in a fair amount here. Just trying to eyeball enough to fill those about a third of the way, maybe. Okay. How am I doing? Man, I'm overusing the first. Okay. Interesting. Gotta mix up that resin. It's a dirty, I'm not gonna use that. Mix that up nice and fully. That might be too much resin. So we might end up using only part of it and then mixing something else in for another color. And just making do with that. We need the white, and I got this white paint here somewhere. How we doing on that? Feeling pretty mixed. Want to make sure you get all the way down there at the bottom. Get whatever's on the bottom to the top, what's on the top to the bottom, and fully mixed as best you can. Okay. And actually, let me just leave that kind of there while I grab the white. I'm just going to add a little bit of the white poured there. And we want to make it, they say, yeah. We want it to look cloudy. I got some resin on it, so we're done. Just a little bit of white will go a long way to make that cloudy. Yeah. It's quite white, in fact. I may end up having to do multiple passes of this, because that looks awfully cloudy. And I don't want it to be, you know, cloudy and then clear, right, in just two levels. I want it to be gradual. So I may come back in here again, like, you know, tomorrow morning or the next day, and mix up another batch that's halfway between this and clear, pour that in. Okay. That's still looking, you know, certainly not white. So we're going to take these. I'm going to try to mash them in here. Reasonably equally. And I'm going to pour this stuff in. Try to do basically a quarter in each one. Trying to be equal to begin with. Oops. Yeah, kind of dribbling it all over the place. All right. Let's add a bit more to this one. All right. So we've got roughly equal measures in each of those. Good. And they're about, let's see. Ooh, I can do more. Yeah, I can definitely use up the rest of this in here. A bit in this one. Definitely some more in this one. Some more in this one. Top this one off. Oops. Yeah, it's pretty even. Boom. Ooh. Good, Brent. All right, that's good. That's sufficient. Hopefully that's going to dribble down in a way that's not too noticeable. All right. So that is the cloudy first pass. I'll go ahead and show you that to you. So there's that first pass, cloudy on the bottom. And like I said, I might go ahead and add a middle layer later on, but we're pretty good there. What is this? This is yellow gunk, which I can safely throw away. Don't need that. Okay. Good. So we got the beginnings of that's a potion of flying. Then we need a potion of mind reading. Some mind reading potions. That's kind of fun. Let's just do a bunch of the spherical ones and do some potions of mind reading. So these are going to be a lot. So I'm going to more or less fill up. I can reuse this because it just had some white in it. That's fine. So I'm going to more or less fill up. I'm going to basically use the rest of this, maybe. We'll see how much I can put in. We'll see how far up this goes. The side of this. But I want to more or less fill up this cup. You don't want to absolutely fill it up because then you can't really mix it. But I can use as much of this cup as is reasonable given the size of it. So I will maximize the cup. All right, use up all of that. Oh yeah, I didn't need the extra thing of resin. That's funny. I'll find a use for it. At the workshop Wednesday another time. And then we will pour this in. To there. Yep, that's about it. Okay. Mix that up. And this will become purple. And one of the reasons you can't, you can't go too deep with these things, you can't use too much, is because then you can't get the popsicle stick down to the very bottom, which would be bad. Again, you want to make sure you're mixing this thoroughly. And if you've got a really deep, full container, you can't do that. You can maybe spin it around and do what you can, but it's going to be tough. Okay. Get some more here, some more spinning, some more non-spinning. Get something going here. Actually, it doesn't look like it's mixing up very well. Just keep going. Just keep going. I know it's mixed when I've got a good number of air bubbles in it. But then also there's a lot of this. There's a lot more in here than I'm used to. True. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do this. I feel kind of silly getting extra resin when I really didn't need it. But live and learn. Okay, we've got some, whoa, bit of over stir there. Good, we're just about there, I think. Yeah, all right, we got some bubbles in there. So, there's that. This is purple. We know what purple is. Let's go ahead and move on to a different pair of gloves. That one's got a fair amount of gunk on it. While we're at it, we can pull out the red and blue again. Put the caps back on the white and the black. It's too easy to knock over your bottles of paint and get them everywhere. So I try to cap those as soon as possible. Those green potions look awfully cool. Ooh, wow. My my hands are very wet, so the gloves don't really want to go on. All that sticky skin. Come on. Okay, and we'll get the rest of the gloves on here, and then we can, okay, come on, there we go. Other one went on easy for some reason. Okay, left hand just does not want to cooperate. Shoo, purple. I think I can be smart here. And we'll grab some blue, a good amount of blue. Put it on the side. And I can use it. Nope, I can't because I got a bunch of blue on the side. Dang it. Dang it! I was hoping I could just flip that over and reuse it, but I can't. Because I'm getting kind of low on the popsicle sticks here. Equal amount of red. Well, that's probably a not quite equal amount of red, but that's okay. And we'll mix that in. Trying to get a purple. And not mud. Yeah, that's purplish. And it's more mud. Dang. I mean, that is a usable purple. I was hoping for something a little more brilliant. Oh well. Maybe if I add a little white. That's not impossible. Try some white. I'm just going to make it pale. Instead of more brilliant. Well, I want to. I definitely don't want it quite that bright. Or that dark. Let's just add some. Maybe that's too much. No, we need a lot of white. That's right. The dark colors overwhelm light colors. Oh, actually. Might be too much white. And that's turning out okay. Let's see what we get. Kind of more of a lavender. Oh wow, look at that. Definitely not the purple I was going for. What is this? Mind reading. You know, I like the idea of a light purple mind. No, this is good. This is good. I can go with this. All right. Yeah, I like that. All right. Success. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to pour this in. Again, I want basically 3. Got some goopy stuff all over the place here. So again, we kind of made a mess of our main work area. So I think what I'll do, I'll prep these. I'm going to pour this into here. I'm going to try to use about 1/3 of each. 1/3 of that, or maybe just 1/2. It's going to have to be half. I can only do 2. Yeah. Does not make sense. Gosh. Get off there. Get off of there. There we go. I got that off. Okay. Oh, wow, actually. No, I think we're going to be good. Put that off to the side. Got lucked out. We'll be able to use this for each. Yeah, good. Good. Move that off to the side. Last one. Use the rest of it. Yeah. Good. That's a lovely color. I am adoring that. Okay. That is a potion of mind reading. Right there. Cool. Okay. There's actually, that's interesting. There's a little dot of like darker epoxy that kind of dripped in to the center of it and gives it a neat little ring effect. And I wonder if I can replicate that here. Nope, doesn't look like it. Clean that off. Not easily. Okay, that's all right. Okay, that's fine. We've got our purple potions of healing. That's cool. That makes me feel happy. All right. Potions of healing done. What have I got left? I've got this. I've got this. I've got this. I've got another one of those. So basically these square jars with the pop top lids. I've got the colored jars, which, like I said, I think does not make sense to put liquid in, although I could. Maybe if I found something cool to put in there. Let me look in my bag of stuff and see, is there something I want to kind of embed in there that means, you know what? That'd be interesting. What if I poured in there some resin and embedded a key in the resin? Just sitting in there. Wouldn't that be interesting? Although, how do I do that? Because if I put it in there, it'll just sink to the bottom. Well, I can pour the resin in and then in a couple of hours, plop it in and hope it sinks. But it's just going to sink. Like there's not going to be a time when I can plan where this will sink at just the right speed to solidify. I'm not that good at it. So I would need something light that I can push down in, and that is essentially as buoyant as it. What could I do? I mean, a key would be awesome. Although maybe I could do that. I could wait until it is, you know, halfway solid and then push it in. Yeah. I don't know when that would be. Well, these things have instructions. When all else fails, read the instructions. Usually all else fails because you didn't. Demold time 18 to 24 hours. Yeah, so that's good. Full cure in 7 days. So what that tells me is the bigger the mass, the faster it will cure. The bigger the mass, the faster it will cure. That's interesting. And the warmer the air temperature, the faster it will cure. Then air take longer to cure. So if I did this, probably by tomorrow, so certainly it's not going to be, well, it's going to cure more quickly. It's 18 to 24 hours. So hopefully by tomorrow morning, I could try that. Let's try it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour, I like that idea. I'm going to pour resin into these and put keys in them tomorrow morning after they've gotten partway solid. Okay, so that's clear resin. I've still got those 4 to do something with. We have the potion of climbing, which is brown, silver, and gray layers. You know, it would make a lot of sense. I think these make sense for potions of climbing. Let's do 2 potions of climbing in these. So I'll need, it's gray, silver, and brown to indicate, you know, layers of sediment. So I think you want gray on the bottom, so we can do a little bit of gray for that one. Then we have these 2 left over. We still have the potion of clairvoyance. So this will be the potion of clairvoyance. That's the potion of clairvoyance right there. Okay. We are just about, yeah, let's go ahead and pull the eyeballs out. Here are our eyeballs. Ooh. How hot are they? It was only 275 degrees, so they're not like hugely hot. They definitely feel more solid. Okay, good. That's all I needed. Like we said, they will dry, you know, in general, but they need a moment to cool. So let me put these out on the counter. So they will need a few minutes to come to their senses. Yeah, so they'll need a few minutes to come to their senses. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and do the gray layer for these. I'm kind of out of space. All right, this can go, whoa. Ugh. Okay. Need some gloves again. So we'll do another cup and we'll just do some gray in there. I think I have some, yeah, I have some just straight gray paint. Okay, obviously you could mix black and white, but it's nice to have a base gray. Okay, so let's mix that up. We need, oh, we're almost out of, that's perfect actually. Yeah, there's just enough in here. Probably between, oh, there we go. No, there's some left in here. So we'll use what's left of this bottle and what's left of the other bottle. And that should do it for the gray. The gray layer. Yeah, that's good. Okay, mix that up. I could, of course, put both parts in and the color and mix them all at the same time. But I like the idea of just making sure that the resin is fully mixed before we do anything else. Like I'm just concerned about what would happen about adding the paint and what that might do to it chemically. You know, I want those 2 parts to have formed resin before I color it. It just seems like the right thing to do. So who knows? Okay. There's not too much to mix here, so I don't need to spend minutes stirring. All right, so there's that. Gray. Let me put the cap back on the white again, making sure we're not mess things up too much more than we already are. And I'm going to add a little bit of gray in here. Shouldn't need much gray to color that much. That much resin. Okay. It's actually not that much. I'm going to add more resin. Ooh, that's a problem. This is a different brand. Okay, it's just going to have to be this way. Let me see if I can't get a bit more out of these bottles. I'm just realizing there's not that much resin on the bottom of these compared to the bottles. And so just like a little bit extra in there. Yeah, there's a little bit left in the bottom of these. I can just scrape out the last bit of this. Let's make use of that last bit. Obviously I could really go nuts on that, but I think we'll get a good amount here. We'll get enough to make it make sense. Enough to make it work. So a little on the bottom of that too, I might be able to get. There we are. Okay, that makes me happier. Let's see what we get there. And now I am going to mix in those bits of resin with the gray. Is that enough gray? Is that, that's a little, I need a little more paint, actually. Can I, actually I lucked out. The bottom of that is still usable, still clean. So I will get another dollop of gray. Mix that in. Okay. Definitely not a potion that you'd want to chug down, but usable. Okay, so we've got our, there we go, okay. Let's pop these off. Pop these off. And, trying to give each roughly equal amounts, obviously. Don't have to be too careful about that, but okay. Good, so we have a pretty thin layer of gray on each of these. Shoot. Get out of there. That's pretty even. Bit more there, and a bit more here. All right, and again, we'll need to wait, 2 days for this to cure before we add the next layer. So you won't see this again for a little while. All right, so that's that. That's going to be for our eyeball. So let's check our eyeball. We have this brown guy. Again, we have a problem with this brown. So maybe this will get some salt in it. Maybe we'll grind up some salt, something like that. Shoo. Here. How are we doing on these guys? Okay. Oh. It fell. Okay, they've hardened up nicely. Still pretty hot. There's another little cap here somewhere, another little measuring thing. Apparently not. Okay. Just just put it off to the side. Oh, I can put them together. Actually, yeah, it's pretty firm. They want to roll, which is good. It means they're round. All right, so we want to paint those, which means these can go to one side. And that gets all. So this is going to be our clairvoyance jar. Yeah, we're getting pretty close. And then we want the clear for those two. So let's go ahead, and while we're waiting for those to cool, we can do the clear epoxy resin for these, and I'll put the key in tomorrow morning. Cool, we're getting there. We're getting there. That's the gray. That can be thrown away. Let's mix up. Yeah, I'm going to need basically a full cup of resin for this. So we'll break out. Now I am glad I had both. Had the extra set. Let's check the instructions here. I'm sure they'll be the same. Equal parts A and B. Yep. Equal parts of both. I should be measuring these exactly, but I'm not. By weight, I think they said. Oh, that's the problem. Hey. No, by volume. By volume. Okay, good. Was the other one by weight? Whoops. No, by volume. Okay, good. Good. All right. So this goes in till we have a lot of it. And this goes in. I like there's no foil on top of these. Until we have a lot of it. Again, exactly the same amount by volume. All right. I am being a poor scientist. I'm not being exact. Let me mix these up. It's much more clear than the other kind. I like this. I have to move to this brand from now on. So this will be the clear stuff for those two colored jars. This might be too much. Yeah, we'll see. Maybe we're done it. But we'll need some for the other one, and you know we can always go from clear and color the clear. That's fine. Lots of resin here, so this is a lot of stirring. But again, like I said, we'll get there. It's all right. Yeah, getting some bubbles, getting some air mixed in. Let's increase the speed and get it in, get it done, get her done. And then we will be good to pour. Okay. And that's that. And that's that. Okay, good. That looks mixed. So we take this guy and this gal. Well, get that off for now. Well, you know, I'm not against. Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's a good amount. Needs to be enough to fit a key. So I need quite a bit. Ooh, I need more. Okay, good to know. Yeah. Whoops, wrong kind. Okay. A little harder to tell on these because they're not tinted or anything. I think is that clear? Looks clear to me. I'm just hoping all of those bubbles will work their way out. Okay, yep, that's good. Fill her up. Even that's less than I thought it would be. It's a big container. Will it fit a key? Will I be able to fit a key in there? Find one. And take a freaking glove off. And grab one of these keys. Yeah, I think so. I could use some more. Let me add a bit more. In fact, I could use a bit more on the other one too, so this will not be in vain. All right. Wow. Very wet hands here. Do not want to go into the glove. Come on. Come on. All right, that's what we're gonna have to be. I'm gonna have to be silly. Okay. And there's no point in filling this up and using resin when we don't have to. I don't want to be wasteful, because I can always hold on to that resin and use it in another project later. I'm just hoping those bubbles do work their way out. Look awfully fine, but we'll find out. I think they do. All right. Just one of those kind of sudden nervousness things. All right. Good. And then add some more to this one. Yeah. And a bit more over here. Finish it out here. We'll still need some more for the eye, but in fact, I can take this. It's funny. Got to take this off. We'll save that for the other resin. So I need to paint the eyes. That's okay. Yeah, it's warm, but it's usable. So first thing to do will be to give it color. So I'm going to make it a blue eye. Whoa! What happened? Oh, I got resin on my... Yeah. Well, actually. Okay, first off, where's my... Ah! 1 second. Golly gee whiz. Okay. One thing after another. So we'll rub that resin off, because it's going to be really hard to paint onto wet resin. All right, I think we're good there. Then, got paint on my freaking mouse pad. That's annoying. I think that's off there. This is not my night for things. Okay. I'm just adding some blue, big old circle of blue. Onto this thing. Come to think of it, I'll need to do the same thing with this eyeball that I do with the key. This is going to sink right to the bottom if I try to use it right now. I try to just drop it into there. So that's good. Alright. So there's a blue eye. I'll put a dot in the middle later on. Hopefully. And let's do 2 blue eyes. Need more blue than that. Yeah, that's definitely plenty of blue. wonder if there's an easier way to do a circle. I'm just kind of doing my best here to push out from a center point. But I get lots of ragged edges. Doesn't help that the brush is a little ragged too. Probably not the best tool. But you do what you can with what you got. Okay. That's a fairly circular eyeball. The people in the center will really sell it, but it needs to dry first. Fortunately, acrylics dry fast. I'll just get the excess blue off of there for now. We'll wash it later on. And need more resin. Oops. So this is going to go in this jar. So we need enough resin to fill that jar. So we'll do that. And I think that'll be it for tonight. Oh, I wanted to do the wand. Maybe the wand will be another time. We've been going about 2 hours now, so maybe I'll fix that wand another time. That's fine. Alrighty. Let's pour in. Pour in. Trying to be fairly careful here. The clairvoyance potion is yellowish. So I will add some yellow. Yellowish. That indicates it's a very light yellow. So I'll just add in a very little bit of yellow in there. That seems like a good amount. So we'll just mix that up. And those air bubbles seem to come to the surface fairly well. Yeah, not a problem on the other ones. Okay, it should be fairly clear, hopefully. If not, some bubbles in a potion certainly makes sense. Certainly reasonable for a crazy special fantasy potion. All right. Now, I should point out, these are all going to have to go somewhere where they can stay open. You don't want to cap these because that chemical reaction is outgassing things. So you want to keep the caps off until they're fully done, which again takes like 7 days. Like they're cured in a little while, but they're not fully cured for 7 days. So I would keep these with the caps off, just sitting somewhere in a garage or whatever for 7 full days, and then go ahead and do your cap them and glue them. I may do that next week actually, for Workshop Wednesday. So I'm getting a little dab of yellow, and you can't take paint out, so I'm trying to be careful here. So there's that much yellow I'm going to mix in. Good. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's going to be perfect. Good. Yeah, just going to be yellowish. Almost looks like a certain uncomfortable color. But sometimes you get that. All right, let's go ahead and pour that in here. Ooh. More than I needed. That seems right. Okay. Oh, I just realized. Shoot. Ha! That's not going to work. Can't get the eyeballs in there. Huh! That's a thought. The other one's even bigger. Should have thought of that. Should have used the, yeah. Should have used these guys for that. Okay, so there will be no eyeballs in these unless I go back and grab some Sculpey. I'll grab some Sculpey off camera and make some smaller eyes and drop them in there. That's just gonna have to be the reality of it, right? They're gonna be like bird's eyes. So okay, fair enough. Thank you all very much. Those are the potions for the day. This is just gonna be, like I said, I'll just pour some salt in there and glue it closed, and it'll look like powder. Or I may just do like baking soda or baby powder or something. Just get some of that in there, and it'll look like it's a weird potion or a weird weird powder of some kind, magical powder. All right, we've got all of our potions. There's our neat, like, black swirled yellow, which I like quite a lot. There's our purple mind reading stuff. Take a look at that green. The green potion's really cool. Really nice color there. We've got our cloudy potions here. They're quite hot, by the way. And then we have our clear potions that are slowly but surely curing. So we'll come back to those some other time. But thank you all very much for being with us. That'll do it for us for Workshop Wednesday. We'll be back next week, we should, with making more things. Maybe an electronics project, maybe some woodworking. Who knows? We'll see what it is next week. So thank you all for joining me. Until next time, make something.